I think a lot of Americans wonder, why does Greenland matter so much? Why does the mission of this base matter so much to the American people?
You know, Mark, we need that for international security, not just security, international.
We know that Russia and China and other nations are taking an extraordinary interest in Arctic passageways and Arctic naval routes.
What is your vision for the potential annexation of Greenland and getting the potential?
Yeah, well, I think it'll happen, and I'm just thinking, I didn't give it much thought before, but I'm sitting with a man that could be very instrumental. You know, Mark, we need that for international security, not just security, international. We have a lot of our favorite players, cruising around the coast, and we have to be careful. And we'll be talking to you. It's a very appropriate, really a very appropriate question.
There's an issue in the high north, so the Arctic. So what you did, so when it comes to Greenland, yes or not joining the US, I would leave that outside for me, this discussion, because I don't want to drag NATO in that. But when it comes to the high north and the Arctic, you are totally right. The Chinese are now using these routes. We know that the Russians are rearming. We know we have a lack of icebreakers. So the fact that the outside Russia, there are 7 Arctic countries working together on this under US leadership is very important to make sure that that region, that part of the world stays safe. And we know things are changing there, and we have to be there.
I think a lot of Americans wonder, why does Greenland matter so much? Why does the mission of this base matter so much to the American people? And I learned a lot about that today myself. Of course, you can read about it in a book, but I saw it up close and personal. And if, God forbid, to my fellow Americans, if a missile was fired from an enemy country or an enemy submarine into the United States, it is the people here before us who would give notice to our brave men and women further south in the United States to let people know what was coming and, God willing, to try to shoot it down and prepare for it. That's one of the things that we do at installations like this. We know that Russia and China and other nations are taking an extraordinary interest in Arctic passageways and Arctic naval routes, and indeed in the minerals of the Arctic territories. We need to ensure that America is leading in the Arctic, because we know that if America doesn't, other nations will fill the gap where we fall behind. So what you guys do is so critically important. I think a lot of Americans, certainly I, didn't realize it fully until President Trump started talking about the importance of our Arctic mission, about building upon it and ensuring that America can lead in the Arctic for the next generation.
Достаточно сказать, все об этом хорошо знают, о планах Соединенных Штатов Америки по присоединению Гренландии Но, вы знаете, это только на первый взгляд может кого-то удивить. И глубоко ошибочно полагать, что это какие-то экстравагантные разговоры новой американской администрации. Ничего подобного. На самом деле, такие планы у Соединенных Штатов Америки проявились еще в 60-е годы XIX века. Уже тогда американская администрация рассматривала возможность аннексии Гренландии и Исландии. Но эта идея не получила тогда поддержку Конгресса.
Don't miss out. Log on to oneindia.com for more updates.